Hey, this is Joe Price. I just wanted to tell you about the marriage record part of our Uruguay connection project. These marriage records are really incredible. They have three people, the bride and groom and both parents. And so they're kind of the super connector records. And we're going to be using these to try to connect together the family tree in Uruguay. Let me share my screen to show how you can help with this. Okay, so here we are in the sheet. We'll just check out a few. Um, and I did look at these ahead. I think they're going to illustrate some of the types of things that you'll encounter as you're working on these. Um, Okay, so this first one's actually like a pretty easy one. You can see like all the names are lining up. And so I'm just going to, and you can open up details if you want to look inside and kind of see what's going on. But this looks like a really good match. Like that's one of the nice things about Uruguay is they have some very unique names. And so the fact that we have basically 8 name pieces lining up really well just means this is a spot on match. So I'm going to hit I'm using Goldie May bookmark. You can see that in a separate video, or you would just go and attach each of these. So notice here we're attaching. A cool thing, Clementina just got a birth year, which she didn't have before. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the focus person now to albino. And notice that his parents are also there. Just remember Jose and Giuseppe are the same name, Joe. And so there we go. Okay, so that was a pretty easy one. We were able to attach everyone. That was great. So I just put in a 1. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, this one, let's see what's going on here. Ooh, this is also a good example. So here, notice here we have, this marriage record in Uruguay. We have this person born in Montevideo. You can see the birth year's close, but again, we have all these name pieces lining up really well. So this is a great match. So we're going to do the attach on this. Now, this one's interesting because his wife is already attached, or his wife in the record is already attached to someone on the tree, but she's not attached to him on the tree. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy her ID. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to click here, and it says ID copied. And then what we're going to do is go to his page. Now, if hopefully with a little bit of practice, this will feel very comfortable. But then you're going to hit Add Spouse. You're going to hit By ID Number and just paste that thing in there. And watch what we just did. We just basically united these two families together. So now Teresa was on the tree with her parents, Jose is on the tree with his parents, and now those two big families have been connected together. That's why I think these marriage records are like the super connectors of the family tree for Uruguay. Okay, so that's all done. Let's try another one. Remember, each one's a little different, and you should always feel comfortable skipping. Oh, hey, look at that. If everything's green, that means it's done. We'll try to clear those out as much as possible, but if that ever happens, just close it right away. Okay, how about this one? Okay, this will be the last one we do. And no, each one's a little different. Okay, so this is great. So here we have Pedro. So for whatever reason, someone attached the parents, but didn't do anything with Pedro. So let's attach Pedro. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to hit Change Person and have Pedro become our focus person. Okay, now this is really interesting because now if these were the same person, we would just attach. But notice here we have 2 different people. Okay, so my guess is, Pedro was born in 1868. So at the time of this marriage, he would have been, 43 years old. So my guess is this was a second marriage for Pedro. So what we're going to do is we're just going to open up Pedro in a new tab right here. So I'm just going to have them kind of side by side. Now this is interesting. We do have a possible duplicate. We have some other records, and so you should always feel comfortable doing the merges or adding additional sources. But I wanted to show how to do this right here. So I'm going to copy the name of his spouse. I'm going to come in here. Let me do that a little slower. I'm going to hit Add Spouse, and then by name, and I'm going to put her info in right here. And then let's see what else we know about her. She was born 1886. Okay, so that's what we know about her. We're going to create a person. Okay, so notice now Pedro now has his 2 spouses, and then we're going to come over here and hit refresh. And then what SourceLinker is going to do is actually line it up with the right person. So now we can attach, bring over the marriage info and attach. And now we're going to hit, wait a second, we're going to hit change person. Now Luis is our focus person, and we're going to add in her parents. Okay, now, I'm really glad I didn't know this was going to happen, but this is a really good, I really want to show you this because this will happen quite a bit when we're adding parents. Here's been my experience. These are almost always right. It's hard to tell though, because all we have is just 2 names, 2 names. So what I like to do is open up that person in a new window, and then I like to come down here and click on the child. Oh, this is Okay, this is interesting. So now here we have a Luisa born in 1895. Over here we have a Luisa born in 1886. Very similar though. This is probably a duplicate, but I'd be really nervous about, bringing together a family that has Luisas that are born 9 years apart. Okay, so I'm not feeling as confident in that one. Let's take a look at this one. Now, granted, one thing we could do is we could work on this family for Luisa. We could maybe attach additional records and see maybe her birthplace got misindexed. Okay, here we have Adoracion. But the thing is, now that I know that there's a possible other family that's very similar, it makes me a little nervous about grabbing one of these. Because remember, when you select one of these, you're basically going to potentially munge two families together. And it's much better for someone to be on the tree twice than for two different people to be on the tree only once. So in this case, I'm actually going to then create a new person because we can always merge these later on. So again, it's much better to have, someone on the tree, one person on the tree twice than to have two different people on the tree and the same profile. Okay, so now we've added in those parents. And so that's really all we want you to do with the marriage record, but you should always feel comfortable if you want to go learn a little bit more about this family, do other tasks, that'll be great. But really the marriage records is designed to be these kind of super connectors. So we're going to add a lot of parents to the tree. Okay, so I'll just mark that. So I hope this video is helpful. Again, if you're not sure, you can always skip, and you can always put in a note, say like, hey, I don't know, this doesn't look right. And the nice thing is by putting in a note, then maybe other people can take a look. But we're really grateful to have your help. And as you saw, many of them are super easy. So, definitely let's get the easy stuff, and then maybe we can leave the hard stuff for later. And the thing about the tree is that if we save the hard stuff for later, sometimes as we do the easy stuff, it makes the hard stuff easier. The more information on the tree, it makes some tasks become easier over time. So again, thanks for helping with this project. I'm really excited, and I'll be working right alongside you on these tasks.